Hey guys, it's Ray here at allofourhomes.com, and today I want to share with you our Fall Montessori Roundup, which includes activities to do with your child this fall. This includes 4 Montessori learning units for the moon, the human body, Halloween, and the autumn-fall unit. Hey guys, it's Ray here at allofourhomes.com, and today I want to share with you our Montessori moon unit. So our Montessori-inspired moon unit has 6 activities and 2 books. For the first activity, we have it in a basket, and it includes the sun, the moon, and the earth, and talking about the relationship between the three and how that determines time for us. This is loosely based on the Montessori birthday practice, where kids will be the earth and walk around the sun to show that they are a year older. So I found these free printables, and I will go ahead and link all of this stuff that we have printed out for free in our blog post, and I'll add that in the description box below. So my son actually cut these out so he practiced his fine motor skills, and then we had the name for the sun, moon, and earth, and then the time frame for each of those in days, and then also talking about how they relate to a day and how the orbit of the moon relates to a month and the orbit of the earth around the sun relates to a year. And then we had the clever idea to put these onto a train set and watch them orbit. So we had the moon orbiting the earth in this case, and then we swapped it out and then had the earth orbiting the sun. For the second activity, we have these cutting strips that we always print out from Living Montessori Now. If you watched any of my other videos, you know that I absolutely love their resources, and we got a lot of our ideas for this moon unit from them. And we just use their moon printables, and then we have a book where we've been putting all of these printouts from Living Montessori Now, and we'll just glue them in this book that I think was picked up from Michael's, perhaps. You can get this set of books where kids can color in them or create their own stories, but we just have one that we use so that you can cut and then later put it in a bowl and then paste it into the book. For the third activity, we talked about the moon phases, and I've actually picked this up from a Play-Doh set from Melissa and Doug. And then I got this little cap that is around the same size from a little jam jar. And then we had this printable. It'd probably be better to laminate it because you can see already here after we practiced it, it kind of got a little bit messy with the Play-Doh. We actually made our own homemade Play-Doh for this, and that was probably one of the funnest parts for my 4-year-old to do, and mixing those ingredients. And then we added some glitter to make it more galactic, and then he would roll out that Play-Doh and then cut it into the different shapes for matching the different moon phases. I've actually seen this activity online using Oreos, which could also be just as fun to do, but we really liked using Play-Doh for this, and making your own Play-Doh at home is a lot of fun to do, and it actually lasts quite a long time. And one thing to keep in mind with any sort of Montessori activity is to just observe your child and let them work out these things on their own. If they ask for help, you can give them a minimal amount of help and then let them continue to do their work, and so that they are immersed in their own flow to figure things out on their own. We We also found this free printable little book that you could create that you cut out yourself and then fold into a book that also talks about the moon phases. For our next tray, we made a paper mache moon, and this is from Kids Made Modern. We actually have a kit from them that we've gotten that has a lot of different craft supplies. I think you can order it online or get it from any sort of store that you would find, like Target, or I think they might also have it at Michael's. So we went ahead and found this activity, and I will link this in the description box below, through the Kids Made Modern website. And it's a paper mache moon where you make your own flour and water mixture for your glue. And then you use the different pieces from the Kids Made Modern set to make your moon three-dimensional, and then you'll have to wait for it to dry overnight, and then the next day you can paint it and then add these star pom-poms that are also in the Kids Made Modern set. So it takes time, but it's worth the wait. And then for another activity, we have this very popular Melissa and Doug floor puzzle that is of the planets, which also has a giant moon in it. I've seen this puzzle everywhere at daycare, when we've rented cabins, at friends' houses. This solar system puzzle is really very popular, and it's also very durable for younger kids. And we will play with jumping from one planet to another, so there are a variety of ways to use it. For our final activity, we have this do-a-dot from Living Montessori Now, and it is for the letter M for moon. We've done these do-a-dots for many years, and it started out simply with some stickers, and we've moved up to now creating a pattern with sequins and gluing them. So I gave my son the exact number that he needed so he could do a pattern of silver and gold. We got the sequins from the Kids Made Modern set, and then we just had a pencil like in red and blue to talk about vowels and consonants. So that is a great way to sort of upgrade this activity for older kids. And then we also had this other free printable to color. And then for the two books that we picked out for this moon unit, we have this book, The Moon, the Earth's Best Friend. And that was recommended by the librarian at our local library. It's a very cute book about the moon being the Earth's best friend and how they've been hanging out together for a long time. And then it also ties in some facts and some science into that. I don't believe that this would be a very good Montessori book, but it was fun to get from the library. However, the Moon book by Gail Gibbons was a fantastic resource, and I would certainly get this if you're doing a moon unit. It is much more Montessori friendly and has very interesting facts about the moon. It talks about day and night and the relationship between the Earth and the moon. It also talks about the tides. So this is a great unit to sort of step into after spending days at the beach, or if you've gone to a lake. You can talk about the moon and how that affects the water flowing in and out and different tide pools. There are so many ways that our lives are connected to the moon, and we forget about its magic and its beauty. So this book really brings all of that back. Whenever we can, we'll go visit a museum that ties into our learning units. So this time we went to the NASA Goddard Visitor Center, where we got to see an astronaut's footprint, and we got to see some moon dust, which was really exciting. Hey guys, it's Ray here at oliverhomes.com, and today I want to share with you a Montessori-inspired unit for the human body. So in this first tray, we were learning about bones. I found this x-ray online of bones in your hands, and there's an activity which I will link in the description box below under the free printables in our blog post that you can watch a full video on how to do this, but your child can just trace an outline of their hands and then mark out where their bones would be with glue. You put a paper towel over it, and then you use a dropper to pull up some food coloring, and then just drop that food coloring or maybe watercolor paint onto the paper towel. And then when you lift up the paper towel, it looks just like an x-ray. Now for the food coloring here, we just used green and red to make black, but you probably would want to add blue, or if you actually have some like black watercolor paint, that could work too. For our next tray, we just used some numbers. These, I forget where I found them and printed them out, but you could just write numbers on cards. And then we had these Q-tips that kind of look like bones and used them to make tally marks. So that was kind of a new introduction to my son about another way to represent a number. In the third tray, we have this puzzle. It's actually a life-size puzzle of a child's skeleton. So these pieces, and as I mentioned before, I'm going to link all of this in our blog post, and in the description box below, I will put a link to that blog post. So this is a free printable, and you just put it together kind of like a puzzle and can talk about the different parts. Along with this, we actually traced my son's body and just kind of talked about where the head was and shoulders and where different bones could be. In the fourth tray, we have this booklet, which is called Inside My Amazing Body. This is such a great resource. There's a lot that I've forgotten over the years about the human body and biology, so this was a very nice way to break it down into something simple to talk to your toddler or preschooler about. Also, there are letters that you can trace for each word, and then you can color in the different organs and different systems of the body, like the circulatory system and your digestive system, things like that. And we just use these pencils that we got from IKEA. These are really nice to use. They're the Mala colored pencils that can also be used as watercolors. And then in another tray, we have these do-a-dots. I always use different printouts from livingmontessorinow.com. They are such a great resource. I found these two, one for the heart and one for the brain. And then I just provided these crazy dot stamps to stamp within the circles. You could also use IKEA stamps, but I can't seem to find those online anymore, so they may have been discontinued. And then provide a marker or a pencil to trace over the letters. In this last tray that we have here, it was more of a craft tray or craft activity where we used noodles. These are macaroni noodles. You could also use some pasta shells. And then I think I have linguine here. So we looked at the skeleton and just talked about the different parts of a skeleton, which most of this is new to me. And then we had another printout of this same skeleton, and my son just glued the pasta noodles over on top of the bones in a creative way, just to represent ribs and, different parts of the skeleton. The book that we used for this Montessori learning unit is called The Body. I think there might be a newer version of this, but the one that we borrowed from our library was this one, and it is just such a fantastic resource. My son really loved these clear pages that show different parts of the human body and each layer almost like you're able to cut or slice through what a body looks like and look behind it and in front of it. Is just such a clever book, the way that it is put together. I highly recommend getting your own copy, or if you do borrow it from the library, you probably will end up borrowing it a couple of times. Hey guys, it's Rhea again with All of Our Homes, and I just wanted to share with you our Montessori inspired Halloween unit. For this quick Halloween inspired unit, we stuck with the letter S for spider for the sand tray. Then we went on a sort of scavenger hunt around the house, which my son loves to do, and looked for all the different objects that we could find that start with the letter S. So you'll see in this tray we have a spider, this is a skull, and sponge strawberry soap. We also have these flashcards, which I can link for you all, that have a picture of a word that starts with the letter S, and then they have on the back the actual letter in uppercase and lowercase. And I really like that these images are realistic. And in this tray we have a transferring activity. The Halloween inspiration is really just drawing a face, a sort of ghost face, on these cotton balls. And then we have these bamboo tongs that can be used to transfer the ghosts from one bowl to another. And then in another one of our trays we have a cutting and gluing exercise. So we always get these cutting strips from livingmontessorinow.com. They're a great resource. These were the spider web ones. And we have these toddler scissors, and my son will cut them, put them in a bowl, and then later use the glue to glue them onto a piece of paper. And here's another quick and easy Montessori inspired activity. This is another printable from Living Montessori Now. That's also with their spider unit. And so I just found some of these stickers that I had, Halloween stickers, but you could use really any circle sticker or stamp, and then just put it onto this piece of paper and also practice writing out the word spider with a pencil. And this is a cute little booklet about spiders, and it's math-based, so you count how many spiders that you want to put on the web. So it also works on fine motor skills, where you stamp on the stamp pad and then add your fingerprint to the spider web. Here there's one spider on that spider web, two on this page, and then you just count up and have however many stamps you need to add on there for the correlating number. And outside of our 6 trays, we have this 3-part card series that I haven't introduced yet, but it shows the life cycle of a pumpkin, and these are the typical Montessori 3-part cards with matching. So those are the 7 Montessori-based activities that we've been doing this month. We usually rotate out learning units once or twice a month and spend under an hour a day on these types of focus learning units. The rest of the day is spent doing independent play, hanging out outside, practical life activities like cooking and cleaning. Hey guys, it's Rhea again from All of Our Homes, and today I wanted to share with you our fall Montessori inspired learning unit. We've got 7 activities total, 6 trays and 1 basket. The first tray is our sand tray with the lowercase letter F. And with studying the lowercase letter F, we have a fall inspired printable from livingmontessorinow.com. And just using one of our IKEA stamps. This one is the sun. Also from Living Montessori Now, we have these cutting strips that I've mentioned in other posts that my son really loves doing, and these are the fall ones. And here in another tray we have a counting exercise with some pine cones that we found on a recent cabin trip of ours. And these cards You just put them in order, and then this is a pretty standard Montessori thing. And then you'll put 1 pine cone under that and 2 under 2, and so on. And I just did pine cones and numbers up to 5 since this is the first time that we've been trying this at home. And in this tray we have some lacing cards that I just made from some cardboard, and then we got this, or I printed this printout, but I think that you could probably just cut out a piece of cardboard and punch some holes in it and do it in the shape of a leaf, and that would be fine. But these are 2 leaf printouts that I found. And in this tray here, we have a transferring exercise with just some red beans and a tiny little spoon and 2 bowls, so you can transfer from one to the other. And in our one and only basket, we have a 3-part card series for naming the parts of a tree. And I can link this in the description box below. But these cards are really nice. So it has a picture of the tree, leaves, branches, trunk, roots, and the axis of the tree. Even if your child isn't able to read yet, they are able to identify the letters. And so my son has been able to kind of see that this one has 4 letters and starts with a T, and can match up the different words. And that's it for our Montessori-inspired fall unit. I hope that you found some good ideas to do with your kiddos before Thanksgiving. I will link to all the free printables we used in the description box below, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button.